everyone, and welcome to Churchy Chats with the Church Girl. I am so excited about tonight's episode. We have some juicy topics, but I also have some amazing guests. But before we get into that, if this is your first time here, my name is Alicia Wiley. I am the owner and creator of A Church Girl, which is a clothing line and a lifestyle brand that seeks to uplift and inspire everyone we have the privilege of connecting with. So if you're here, we hope you're uplifted and inspired. Before we go any further, I'm going to ask you to share this broadcast, share it with everybody that you know. Make sure they join in and join the conversation. So as I already said, I'm super excited about my guest tonight. And there are two reasons why. Let me tell y'all. So first of all, I'm excited because they are amazing. That's the first reason. But the second reason is both of my guests tonight are from New Orleans. So that means the whole panel are New Orleanians. So I am so here. And listen, let me give y'all this disclaimer. Since I have my New Orleans voice on, you're going to hear a little of that New Orleans come out. I know y'all usually don't hear my New Orleans accent, but you can already hear it just with me saying New Orleans. Okay, so I had to get that out the way because it's coming out because I got my people with me. All right, Pastor Am, talk to the people.
Hey, y'all. Hey, thank you so much for having me tonight, Alicia. I appreciate this opportunity. I've been a fan of Churchy Chats since God laid it on your heart to start. So what an honor to be on the other side of the fence. Great honor, and extremely honored to be able to share time with you, Brother Robert, tonight. So this is awesome. This is great. I bring you greetings from New Orleans. So just on the other side of the interstate or the bridge.
Yes. Yes, it's New Orleans night.
Born and raised a native daughter of the city. So it's an extra huge honor to be able to be here and share space with a native son and a native daughter. I pastor along with my husband, the Faith Movers Church, New Genesis Bible Church, which we affectionately now call Yahweh's House. This is year 6 of pastoring for us. So
okay, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. God is teaching us lessons and opening up doors that we still shook by. We like, God, what you doing? So it's been an amazing journey and an honor to be able to lead the people of God. The Lord has given me a specific ministry to women. So I have a ministry called So Graceful. It's a annual women's summit. This year is year 4. It's happening
year 4?
Year 4. And we are gearing up for this year So Graceful. November 5th, 6th, and 7th. So the first weekend of November. So you'll be hearing more about that really soon. And there are other arms of that ministry. Grace on a Wednesday, which comes across every Wednesday. It's a Facebook Live also, where it's just a quick word of hope, word of encouragement every single Wednesday.
It's bomb, y'all. It's so bomb.
Oh, bless you, sis. And 2 weeks ago, that thing went on the radio. What?
Come on, radio.
Come on, radio. So I honor God. It's all him. It's absolutely all him. And I give him the glory. And this week, this is a really special week because this week I launched a mentorship group for women 18 years and older. It's called SOAR Mentorship Academy. And it's all about soaring in every area of life: ministry, family, business, relationships, self-care. So that started this week.
So y'all hear, she is booked and busy. And she is thebomb.com. Thank you so much, Anne, for being here. I know you have a family and a husband and a ministry and a job and all of that good stuff. So I appreciate you taking the time, sis.
Thank you so much. This is an honor.
Rob, talk to the people.
Hey, this is Reverend Robert Tanner III from Community Church under the leadership of my father, Pastor Robert Tanner Jr. Third generation pastor. I'm youth pastor, youth leader at our church. Been it for the last 5-6 years, and been preaching since 2001. So 12 years old.
Okay.
So I've been in ministry all my life, seen all aspects of ministry, and love every bit of it.
Amen.
My niche is mostly youth. I love youth. My young members love me because I'll pop up on them. If I see them on Facebook Live, I'll pop up and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
I stay on them with their education and behavior and make sure they raised the right way. Don't want the the crowd or people on the outside molding them, and they thinking of stereotypical church members and stuff like that. But we try to be more action, show that we are Christians, show love, show what we need to show. And that's me in a nutshell. I just live my best life and try and have others live their best life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I am so honored to have you here, Robert. I appreciate it. And we're going to jump right into these juicy topics. Okay, so Saints, I want to start with 45, right? So this past week, we found out that, well, I don't know if this was necessarily new, because I don't know if we thought that he did not know, right? But he claims, or he openly admits rather, that he knew about the risk involved with COVID-19, but he withheld that information. How does that, actually hearing that, how does that make you feel?
You can go first. You go first. Ladies first.
I tell you what, it makes me feel all kinds of ways, because when you play back even the recordings, come on,
yes,
stamps, receipts. When you play it back, it's injury to insult, I think, because I don't know about you guys, but I literally could put myself in position. Like I low-key remember what I was doing February 7th. Like I absolutely knew how I was feeling March 19th.
Okay, absolutely.
I told my husband this. Like it was significant to me, and I got offended on a whole nother level. My birthday was March 18th. And I told this to my husband. I think like so many of us, or so many people that we are connected to, I faked the funk, but straight up, I did not feel well. And when I look back over and I piece together the pieces, I know what time it was now, but I didn't then. And when I look back and I consider all of the things that maybe I could have known, or maybe I could have prevented in order to not be in that position and not be in that place, I sit back and I'm like, how you know, but know one thing and say another. So injury to insult is the first thing that hit, to know that there was a knowingness. It sheds light on just how capitalistic the mindset is around all the motions that occur from the top down, how it's truly based in something bigger and different, where it's not about human lives. Human lives is a casualty of war, so to speak, when you consider this timeline. So I feel like I could go on and on, but sis I'm over here injury to insult with it.
It's bad. And like you said, with the recordings, they got 18 different recordings. And my thing was, I'm somebody that had corona. My auntie died from corona.
Me too.
A church member died from corona.
I'm so sorry.
And for me, it's like this. If you know about it, you know how bad it is. You got the stats and you got the specialists to tell you how bad it is. And then for you to say, "Oh, I didn't want to excite a panic. I didn't want everybody to get all excited and stuff like this," when this is something that kills people.
Yes.
It's just so detrimental. And I think on February 7th, he said, "Oh, now we know it's transmitted by air." But this whole time, you're not saying nothing. You downplayed the next week and say, "Oh, it's like the flu. It's gonna go away miraculously. It's just gonna poof and disappear." Then he said April, when the heat gets hot, when it gets hotter, it's just gonna go away. And the thing is, my thing, you the president. You're supposed to be here to protect people. That's supposed to be your number one concern, and you have not a care in the world about it. I'm talking about, he said, I think they said over like 10 times how many times he downplayed it.
Right.
How does that go? And you're supposed to be protecting the people. And then at the last part I had heard, when the book came out, he blamed the journalist for not doing nothing. The man that reported it. How did you do that? You're the president, but you're saying, since I told journalists about it in February, he should have been the one to tell people. How does that go? But, that's 45. Respect the office, but hey, that's my opinion.
I tell you what.
Keep talking.
Oh, and another thing, that wasn't even the worst thing he said in the interview. That's the bad part. It just got worse and worse and worse. He talked about Black Lives Matter. He talked about how tight he was with China, but then he blamed China for everything that's going on. But you
Right.
say he got this magical relationship with Kim Jong-un. But I don't know. I think the whole you got to think we got almost 200,000 deaths of
Right.
corona, and this is something that you're not worried about.
Right.
I just maybe because it didn't hit him, maybe because he was in his bubble, but I just don't see how you say nothing. Nothing could be done. I think at the very end, the last interview he had, he said nothing. It was nothing more he could have done, and that was in. I think that was in July. He said that in August. He said
And
nothing more could be done.
and we just know that's not true. Like
Right.
now again, just using the term, the receipts of it all, just the timestamps, it just wasn't true. And it really opens our eyes and our minds to just how careful we have to be about the information that we're exposed to and how we process it. Pastor, you know how we talk about like we'll talk to our congregations and to our youth about being responsible for the words that we hear and taking action on it. So it puts you in the same mind frame of how then were you responsible? How then did you distribute this information in a meaningful way so that people could begin to protect themselves, could begin to do something different, respond differently? Had I known on the 7th of February that I could be doing something different, had I known on the 19th of March and all of these places along the timeline, I wonder how we all would have governed ourselves differently. Like that's the
Exactly.
question that's in my mind.
Exactly.
What would I have done differently? And I know for a fact, knowing myself, knowing my husband, knowing our families, knowing our congregants, that we would have directed them and informed them so differently had we had a little bit of information on how we could do better.
And everything would have changed. Think about it. If we knew about it in February, the kids would have been in school. Churches would have been doing it virtual early because they have church congregations that lost over 50% of people. Like you you know the assembly of people and how we as a people always get together, parties, grills, barbecues, all this.
Mm-hmm.
All this could have been to an end, and we could have been saving ourselves basically because he didn't want to excite the panic. You know,
Yeah, I have to agree with you all. To say that it was irresponsible is the least of what we can say about this, right? I think what resonated with me was, as Am said, as people who are somewhat responsible for other people, you know, we sometimes have these difficult decisions to make, right? We have to decide if we're going to say something based on the information that we have, or if we are going to withhold it based on the information that we have, right? So even though it can be terribly difficult sometimes to make that decision, if ever the people that God has made me partially responsible for are at risk, then they get the information. No matter how hard it is to deliver, no matter what I think it's going to invoke. And I think to say that it was going to cause panic lets you know what kind of leader you are, right? Because in a church, if I have to give you bad news, they take the bad news based on what kind of leader you are.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
So you should not have been afraid of panic if you are a good leader.
Simple and plain.
Point blank period. Point blank period.
So, you know,
literally
go ahead.
Had a leadership meeting with some of my staff that really what the conversation was, you really can tell you should be able as a leader, this is so crazy how this applies, you should be able to distribute any kind of information. I work in bridal. It's a sensitive industry, lots of emotion. So you should be able to deliver any news because it will impact that individual's future. Exactly. It's not so much what you have to say, it's how you have to say it. So the reflection of good leadership, solid leadership, knowledgeable leadership that's steeped in solution would have been more concerned about delivering it in a way that it was palatable so that action could be the very next step. Not could it incite panic, but what's the response to the people so that we can create solutions, even if there is panic, even if there is concern. What's the next step? What comes after that?
Right. Exactly. Right. And why aren't we capable? Why isn't the
why
leadership?
Aren't we capable?
Well, y'all saying this. Let me ask you this.
Speak on it.
Do you think 45 is capable of delivering a message like that?
Now, why you want to do that?
That's all I'm saying. Think about who you're talking about. Do you think 45 is capable of putting itself in humble shoes and explaining that to people?
Well, here's the better question, Rob. Is he capable of handling the result of the news he delivers?
No, he threw everybody on the bus. What you talking about?
That part.
Not Trump. Shoot.
That part. This is wild, y'all, because what this becomes is a conversation about leadership. And it's absolutely about 45 and the capabilities that are clearly not in place. But it's also a reminder to us, like when we have to do the hard thing, when we have to say the hard thing, when we have to offer the rebuke, like, do we do it or do we do something else? Or do we like pause on that thing, sit on that thing and be like, I'm gonna let it ride.
I'm gonna hold on.
Yes, exactly. And just let it go. Or do we tackle it head on? The whole other piece of this, you probably got to have another show, but the whole other piece of this is who do you surround yourself with so that you can set up proper systems in order to be able to do what you need to do. That's the other.
And that's it. Leadership, think about it. The people that have told him stuff, he fired them. Right. Think about that. Think about that. If you're in leadership, somebody else don't agree with you, you just get rid of them. You're not no good leader.
That's not it.
You're a narcissist.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's just who you are. You're a person that can't take criticism if somebody talks against what you said, and you fire him. I think he probably fired more people than anybody that's been the president. And the thing about it, the man you're talking about, if you think about later in the, did you watch the rest of it when he talked about Black Lives Matter? This is the same president when they said, do you feel about the white privilege is too much? Are you shadowed in or anything like that? He told the man, you must be drinking the Kool-Aid. Who does that? Who does that?
Wow.
African American, still American people, he told the man, how do you feel about white privilege? And this man says, you must be drinking the Kool-Aid.
Wow.
This is a man we want to step up, do what he got to do, trying to stop a pandemic, slow down a pandemic, keep his people alive. But he don't care. I feel like this.
But you hit the nail on the head, and this becomes a moment of, is 45 a mess, a hot mess? But it becomes a greater moment of making sure that we become a part of our futures. Y'all, we gotta vote. Like we gotta vote. Like we have to be able to make a difference on our local stages as well as our state stages, but in particular on the federal stage, because if we want to make our voices heard, if we want to see change, like we got to know that our vote matters, and we have to absolutely, we literally have to vote. This whole mess of knowing a thing and covering it up, this whole mess of knowing that there is a deeply rooted problem in America that's hundreds of years old.
Hundreds of years old.
Like we 1619 died. Like it's bigger than just what's been happening this year under the umbrella of a pandemic, but it reaches further than that. And I know for myself, every time I see the foolery, I'm like, I gotta vote. I have to make sure I vote, and I have to make sure to encourage everybody that I'm connected to vote.
Hey, all that time you got at home right now, everybody should be ready to vote.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
We see you talking, at least we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yeah, we got something.
I'm rebuking that devil one tonight.
Hey, cool.
I'll change this into a prayer meeting. Anyway, that is what's so important. We have to vote because that is the only way that we change the situation that we're in. And I saw a post earlier today, and it said, every verses has been dope. I've enjoyed every one of them. But the one versus that we need to see is America versus Donald Trump on November 3rd.
Hey!
Oh, I like that.
Come on.
I like that.
It's a word.
Yeah.
So that's the verses that we need everybody to show up for. That's the verses that we need nobody to skip or miss. We have to get out. We have to vote. We have to change this narrative, and we have to do it quickly.
That's right.
Amen.
Amen.
So we're going to go to our first commercial break, and we'll be right back with another juicy topic. Stay tuned.
Get fit with Corey. Fitness made fun with real results. Join us. In-person classes are now available. For more information, www.patreon.com/getfitwithcorey. Sign up today.
Listen, Saints of God, I don't know where y'all are located, but Corey is the bomb.com. He has online classes and in-person classes, and you get a free class if you just text the Churchy Chats to the number on the screen. So please check him out. You will not regret it. He is an excellent trainer. It's fun. It's easy to catch on to. It's all like this stuff. So y'all check him out. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, so y'all know Candace Cameron Bure. She played DJ Tanner on Full House. And she also, her brother is Kirk Cameron, who is a big Christian, right? He's a big Christian. He did the Left Behind movie. Like if you save, like if you grew up save, you know about the Left Behind. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the deal. She posted a picture. And people were, dragging for her, saying that it was inappropriate. So I'm going to let the saints see the picture. And then we're going to talk about if this picture is inappropriate for a married Christian couple. Let's check it out. So saints, I want y'all to take a good look.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Here's my question. Okay, Rob, ain't nothing wrong with it. Tell us why ain't nothing wrong with it.
They've been married 24 years. 24 years. Got, I think, 2-3 kids. And my thing is, you love how you love. They got 5 love languages. One of them physical touch.
That's right.
If that's how they love each other, that's how they appreciate each other, that's their business. You know the thing about marriage? Keep outsiders out. Keep them out. You do what you do. I don't care who took the picture. End of the day, that's their relationship. That's how I feel.
Facts.
Touch booty, you can touch whatever you want. That's his wife.
What you say, Al?
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Ain't nothing
wrong with it. I laughed so tough because the only difference between what she did and what I got in my photo stream is I got one I didn't post. Come on, Pastor. I was on the Santa Monica Pier in California, and right before the snap, Pastor said, "What belongs to me."
Thank you.
It just didn't get posted. And at the end of the day, shout out to them for being married 24 years and still enjoying one another, still actually liking one another. Let's talk about that part. Let's talk about what keeps the fire lit and keeps you not faking the funk, but actually enjoying each other's company. I thought it was actually refreshing to see a couple actually enjoying one another and still being in love. Hey, like her body 24 years later. To God be the glory.
Okay.
And I think the ones that complain, they need to check themselves at the end of the day.
And here's the thing. Candace was like, he can touch me anytime, anywhere he wants.
Exactly.
How about that? But what I thought was interesting is we don't have an issue or we don't raise any stand about people who are touching all over each other and are not married.
Right.
But do we do that because they're not saved? But here's the thing. And this is going to sound crazy, but all of my morals are not necessarily because I'm saved, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So we should be able to hold these people who are unsaved still to a certain standard. Y'all feeling all over each other and gripping and groping, but that's okay. And we don't say nothing about that. But a married couple and the man just have his hand resting on his wife, that's an issue. I'm having trouble understanding.
It shouldn't be an issue at all.
It shouldn't
shouldn't even been in the news.
It shouldn't be. It reminds me of years ago. Yolanda Adams wore, I believe it was like an off-the-shoulder dress, and the kingdom came unglued. Her shoulders
unglued,
and
undone.
Anybody who thought it was beautiful was on the same train, downward. Like it was really crazy. And I think when we pick our battles, first of all, when we create them, it is steeped in something that's so surface level as opposed to the matters of the heart, the condition of people's minds. Like where's the true status of your relationship? Like what is your love language? Like tell me that. Like you worried about shoulders and like physical touch, but like can you even identify in your marriage, ma'am, or your marriage, sir, like what's going on behind closed doors? Or better yet, how do you express that love outside of those closed doors? Do you actually enjoy each other's company? So I just think it becomes a conversation and a battle about something that's so surface level that it almost covers up the real issues. It almost covers up the things that we ought to be talking about and makes it about something completely different.
Yeah, I agree. And when you made mention about Yolanda Adams, I thought about Erica Campbell's cover of her, or she did a shoot. I don't want to take her, and she had on this white dress. And the saints of God went ballistic, right? First of all, sis never claimed to be Shirley Caesar. Not that anything is wrong with that, right? But we're talking about two totally different generations. You know what I mean? Their music, in some cases, sounds, and I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying their music even has a secular sound. Or it can have a secular sound.
Right.
But are we really, like, sis was covered up?
She really was.
I don't know. I mean, it could have been a turtleneck. That's the only way she could have been more covered up, is if she had on a turtleneck.
Right.
So what I don't understand, and I guess like Am said, it's just making issues out of stuff that is not really an issue while not dealing with the real issues. Like, are we really, and for women, I mean, for women, it's harder because we deal with what we wear in church more than men do. But is it really that big of a deal? I mean, I'm just needing to understand from the saints of God, like if it's not booty out, breast out, is it really like, are we making a mountain out of a molehill? And let me say this, I'm super traditional. I am super traditional when it comes to what we wear in church and stuff like that. But I still think we are, I don't know.
No, you're onto something there. You know what's so funny for me? I super traditional as well, but I got my own like kind of hippie twist on it. And
same.
Sunday, I made a marked note in my head. I wore pants to church Sunday. I made a conscious decision as a female pastor to not do that. But can I tell you what has changed? We went from being in the building to being virtual. We had pull up and praise. So I preached in the sun, okay? I
Listen.
in the sun. And I was like, at this point in time, my theology has evolved in order to consider what's the primary thing. And that is, I got to keep my body temperature at a place where I don't fall out.
That part.
That part. God. All right. So I let go of something that I had made a thing for myself. It was completely appropriate. You might not even know if it was a skirt or not if you looked at me quick. But the idea of it was I had to kind of debunk this thing that I had in my mind that made it so important and almost a deal breaker, because I came from a school of thought where it was. But I had to challenge myself and say, now why is it? Because this is what was about to happen. I was going to spend more time in my closet deciding, picking, and choosing what to wear than focusing on what the main thing was. And that was to get the people to the throne of grace. That was to be able to get open enough to be able to let the Spirit speak. So almost was a trick of the enemy. Over pants or a skirt, as opposed to being open to allowing heaven to flow to earth so God can do what he needed to do at service. So pants were one.
Yeah, pants for war. And you know what? How I feel about that too is I'm glad you said that, because if we go back to Candace, she has made it her business to be like, she's all over Hallmark. So we know how clean and crisp that is. But they have made a decision. Her and her brother have made a decision to be a light in Hollywood, right? They have made it their business to represent Christ unapologetically. So y'all complaining because that woman's husband is touching her? Like, I mean, what does that wipe away the stance that she has made? Does that wipe away the good that she has done? Does that wipe away who she is for Christ and in the kingdom? You know, I mean, absolutely not, right? So, I mean, we know people crazy, but I just had to get y'all's opinion on that. And I mean, listen, I thought it was crazy. I kind of knew who, and you know, I'm going to be PC. I kind of knew who had the issues with that. You know, when I read the article, I was like, oh okay. Yeah, I was like, surely we know whose issues these were. But nonetheless, I still wanted to have that conversation. So guys, thank you for your input on that. We're going to go to our second commercial break. We're going to have 2 commercials, and then we're going to go to our last topic for the evening. Stay tuned.
All right.
Bowtie Brown Productions presents Listen to My Thoughts with J. Damian Brown on Facebook every Tuesday at 9:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Listen to My Thoughts, a Bowtie Brown production.
All right, guys, one more commercial, and we'll be right back. All right, y'all. So, first of all, let me say this. I would like to publicly thank Kev on stage for his content, because he makes my job a little easier. He does. Honestly, he makes my job a little easier. So before we go into the topic, I want to introduce it, and then I'm going to show you all the video so that the people can really get a grasp on how they feel about this. So people watching, pay attention. Now is a good time to pay attention, because I want y'all to come on in the room and join the conversation for this.
Yeah.
So think about this. Think on these things. How would you feel if your spouse would not give you a kidney if they were your only match? All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
First question. Dear Cap, I've been married for 12 years. We've been together for 19 years. We have 3 kids. We're getting older, mid-40s. I was thinking about our health in the future and decided to ask my husband a hypothetical question. What if one of my kidneys failed and you're my only match? Would you give me one of your kidneys? Without hesitation, he said no. His reasoning is that he wants to leave this earth with all his parts he was born with. Also, he said by giving up one of his kidneys, it would put him at risk for health issues too. And what if I still die? Then he would have wasted a good kidney. God damn. Lastly, he said that the kids will need a strong, healthy parent, and giving up a kidney would put our kids in danger. Our kids' future in danger. I'm infuriated, to say the least. I would give up my kidney willingly, no questions asked, if it meant that it would help my husband, but now I see he doesn't feel the same for me. So my question is, does this make a valid argument? And should I just accept his view, or I'm just married to a selfish man?
Saints of God, today.
On today.
What are our thoughts on this? What if your spouse would not give you a kidney?
You go ahead, Pastor. I'll let you go first.
Setup. It's about to be this is a quick answer. What in the world? You all come on. You gonna with one of these kidneys. We're together in everything. So we gonna divide that thing, and we gonna be together. With you got one over here, and I got one over here. I listened to it, and I was like, "Is this for comedy's sake? Like, what is happening right now?" For me, it's a no-brainer. For me, it's point blank, period, clear cut. Like he can have the last slice of cake. Like if they got 2 twigs, you got one. Like this is how.
We lost your sound, Am.
Y'all can't hear me?
We can hear you now.
Oh, we got you.
Okay, okay. I had a couple thoughts in between, but my final thought is, oh, you giving me a kidney. Oh, we together.
You giving me this kidney.
We each got one.
See, I feel it. I'm with it, but I'm just going to be the other opinion. Now, I promise you, it wasn't the first time as his spouse that she heard him say, whatever I came into this world with, I'm leaving with. Okay. You heard when he said that? So he kind of already know what he's saying with it. So the question was going to be an argument anyway. Me personally, if you could do away with the kidney, give it to her. Just like that, because you want to live together. But on the other side, the vows say nothing about a transplant. They say death do us part. Death. Death. Nothing about a kidney transplant. Sickness and health till death do us part. Just going, hey, but I'm in agreement with you. I'm just being the other side right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this comment and then I'm coming back to you, Rob. So my sister said the next and only thing he would do for me is to sign divorce papers.
Why? What's the part?
Well, remember now, it said that if he was the only match. So that means you don't have no match.
Only match. Yeah. He got to save his wife. You got to.
Now, if we do play devil's advocate, let's say we get on the other side of it. Is that selfish? Do you think that came from a selfish motive, or he really truly believes any of those reasons he gave? Forget the first one, because everything I came here with, I'm leaving with. That is foolish.
Like, what were you even doing? Yeah.
So we're not gonna do that. But the fact that your children need to have a healthy parent.
He tried it.
Is that legitimate? Like, on God, is that legitimate?
Not legitimate.
Okay. Second one. If you die anyway.
We both in heaven together.
We're together.
It is what
we
it
are
is.
together in this thing. That's
what it is.
Here. That's what we are together. We are together. The goal is to not die. Like every day we wake up, the goal is for you, me, for us. We got 3 kids. Let's not die. Like that becomes the goal, and like the formation of how we govern ourselves accordingly. So the goal is don't die. All right. But if we do, together.
Exactly.
With a single kid to each of us.
Each of us. Okay, so I have another question for y'all. Robert, would you still be married if your spouse said, no, I will not save your life?
That'd be tough. You can't.
Would you still be married?
Right. I would be mad.
You know what I'm saying? You can't even sleep good at night if you didn't give her that kidney. I promise you. Shoot,
you need a kidney.
She will stab you.
You can't sleep good.
I will do the surgery myself.
I'm telling you, if you got that donor on your license, shoot, you the only match, you might not sleep good at night.
Get the kidney that's owed to me. But would you divorce them? Would you divorce your spouse if they told you they wouldn't give you a kidney?
That's a really tough question.
That's tough.
But honestly, I don't even understand the level of mad that I would be at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But Pastor just said it, and it's true. It's till death do us part. So if I'm yet holding on, I must just be up in here and man, what a bad kid. Like I think I would regularly make sure that you know that I'm yet holding on, but barely because of you. Because that's what you got. Because the goal of marriage, at least over here, is we gonna stay alive. But it's going to be the abundant life. I'm not living the abundant life with this bad kidney, but you got 2 good ones.
Exactly. And then my thing is, you're married, that's unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, you should have built up a bond so good in your courtship, in your dating, in your marriage, where you wouldn't even want to see your spouse hurt.
Right.
You know, it's almost like if you feel like God gave you your wife or gave you your husband, that's an angel you taking care of for God. If you see that spouse hurting, what are you doing? You're not doing your job.
You see that spouse
especially
dying.
as the husband doing it to the wife, you're supposed to be the protector and the provider. What you think giving the kidney?
You supposed to love your wife as Christ loves the church.
Exactly.
And he gave his very life. Do you understand? So talk fast.
I'm sorry. It's occurring to me, even with each topic, it starts with one thing, but it really becomes about a bigger conversation about something that the topic is, and not according to you. I just mean the introduction of these topics are about bigger things, about leadership, about like, what is a marriage really about? And I think that's the same thing we're saying here, because how could that even be a question in a healthy marriage? Like, probably the bigger question is, why is this a question? Because in a healthy marriage in which the other person is preferring the other. So my whole existence as a wife, I feel like, is to prefer Justin. If I know they don't like tomatoes, I am going to do my everything to avoid tomatoes. Like, even if I purchase something with tomatoes, it might sound like too much, but I'm gonna move them on the side if I can. I'm gonna make sure he don't see a tomato if I can help it. And if there is a tomato and I can't avoid it, babe, they got tomatoes in there. Just watch out. Like, everything that I do as a wife, when I am focused on him, is to prefer him. It would never be a question. And I know the same would exist on the other side of the fence. It's to prefer me. So the bigger thing is the fact that became a question where a no without hesitation could even be.
And that's the thing.
And that's the problem.
But that becomes the bigger thing.
When you don't have any hesitation to it, and you like, oh, nope, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't do that.
He had 3 or 4 excuses on top of it. Like, he was ready. He was ready for it.
Like, and what, you gonna use my children? Like, first of all, I'm the one who stepped through death's door to have these children. I'm the one who made that sacrifice. And you gonna tell me they need a healthy daddy, but they don't need a healthy mom? What? What are you talking about? I think for me, like one of our guests said, Robert said, it's the fact that there was no hesitation. I think for me, I mean, even if, well, let me say this. I might be a little upset if you have to think too long too now. Like, I don't want you to be like, I'll let you know in 7 to 10 business days, because then we're going to have an issue too. But it's the no without hesitation, right? That is a no for me. And I don't know, not being married, I don't know. If my husband told me no, we would have some issues. We would have to go to counseling.
So that's going to be one of your courting questions then?
Oh, yes, indeed, Lord. Because let me tell you something. Let the New Orleans come out. Let me tell you. If you're not willing to do that for me, I don't know. Because you're not the kind of person that I need to be with. You know what I'm saying? And I just... that's not something that I can be okay with, because even if we go to counseling and later on I get a yes, I don't want your later yes. I don't want your, oh, okay, you can have it. Oh, okay, you can have it. I don't want that. No, keep your little raggedy kitten. And I'm gonna pack up me and my kids, and we about to roll out, baby, because what they not gonna have is a healthy daddy in a minute. Because I'm gonna bake a cake for you, sir. I am gonna bake a cake, and I don't mean the one in the oven. So, okay, there it is. So I don't want your later yes, because how am I supposed to feel that we had to go to counseling and we had to have these conversations and you had to think about it, all this time for you to say that you would do something like that for me?
Yeah, it's all of the things. Something else stuck out to me, like we talked about it a little bit, talking about somebody got to be here for the kids. It was, I don't know, very early. It was actually in our premarital counseling where our bishop helped us to understand that when we have children, it's not I'm a mother and a wife. It's I'm a wife
and a mother. Come on.
I'm able to be an effective mother because I'm an effective wife. And so even to play that card was incorrect, because the proper perspective is he loves me as Christ loves the church.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
period.
And then we are able to move on to the children. And it's a whole other piece telling you, Alicia, we can give like 4 other topics for the next week. And it's
I
ministry
appreciate
after that.
Yeah.
So it's not ministry husband children. It's not ministry children husband. It's husband
children, ministry.
Exactly.
Those things work effectively only in that order.
Yes.
Because if they lose that perspective, if I lose that perspective and I shift gears and I put it in the other direction, I can guarantee you I can trace the breakdown. And it's the proper priority of those things. Absolutely.
Every time.
Say no to, because it would negatively impact my marriage. There were things I had to say no to because it didn't align to my children's school schedule. So I had to shift things around. So it's really about prioritizing and understanding what comes first. So to play that children card was already like,
was foul.
That was odd.
That was foul. And let me go. I'm gonna let you talk, Robert. Let me go a step further with your analogy, with your list. And my dad often says, "Don't get it confused." He always says God is the center, right?
Right.
But we're gonna go on and put it in a ranking order for the sake of this example. Don't get it confused that God is first with ministry is first.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
Don't get those two things confused.
That is correct.
God is central. One, right? Then we go to wife, then we go to kids, then we go to ministry. But people get that game confused. Oh, well, God is down the list. No. God is not down nobody's list. Ministry is down the list, right?
That's
so I think that's important to know. Rob, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I 100% agree with it. My thing is like this. You got to be a good husband, be a good father, to be a good in ministry. It's all about priorities. It's all about priorities at the end of the day. And we all should already know God and ministry is two different things. I know we've been raised in church, but I believe everybody should know that it's two different aspects. So I totally agree with that. I agree with Pastor about the it shouldn't even be a second guessing into it. It shouldn't be anything like that. If your spouse is to ask you that question, and if you're the only match and you the one that's gonna keep your family going, it should be automatic yes. It shouldn't even be no question. Let's go to the hospital. Let's go get it done.
Period.
Let's do it. Period. But that's my whole thing on it. I was surprised that wasn't even a question that they asked somebody.
Listen, people crazy though.
It shouldn't even went that far.
People crazy. But here's the thing. So y'all, I want to do something fun with y'all. Okay. So we're going to play something called, have y'all ever played Would You Rather? It's a game that gives you 2 options, right? So we have a little time. So I want to play a one round. I just have one Would You Rather question for y'all. This is the Churchy Chats version. Okay. Would you rather been in the lion's den? Okay, Daniel in the lion's den, right? Or spend the night or a couple nights in the belly of the whale and Ben Jonah. Would you rather? Which one would you rather? Church version.
Lion's den all day.
Same.
Really?
Why would I want to get a belly of a whale?
Really?
That was a punishment. Like, no, I'm good.
Really? Y'all would really choose the lion's den?
What would you pick?
I don't know. I like water. I like water.
Immediately, I thought about how that water smelled. That's what I was like. All right, I don't want the belly. Over several days, I feel like the lion. I had the opportunity to be able to tame, to be able to reason, to be whatever Daniel did. That's what
Thank you. You was able to choose the lion.
Okay.
Let's talk about this. Let's
Okay. So I got another one for y'all. Now this one is more church-based. Would you rather have a church that gives the way you want them to give, but they don't do what you tell them to do, or vice versa? Would you rather have the money in a disobedient congregation,
I would rather them tithe like they supposed to tithe.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Not to do with money, but the principles of how they supposed to act going to come with that. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you tithe, if you got that principle down pat first, I know, things going to happen in accord with what needs to happen.
Okay.
If God needs to change your action, your blessing's going to keep coming. If you just ignorant,
That's it.
you ignorant and not, because my thing is, you can come to church all you want, do what I say do, but if you're not tithing right, your life ain't gonna be right.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So, pastor said do this, go feed the hungry, this, and I'm not tithing. Well, I'm out of order.
Yeah.
Why would I want that? So tithing comes first, and then the action gonna get back right.
Okay. What you say, Am?
I definitely want to be connected to a giver all the time. I want to somebody who's a giver, because that's somebody that understands how to prioritize and they understand how to ignite the blessing over their life. So if they are not doing what's being asked of them, that's connected to leadership. That's connected to teaching. That feels like another vein. So maybe we can talk a little bit differently, like a communication thing. Like, is there a way that I could say this differently so that you can understand what I expect? Because it says a lot about them already if they're a giver. It says that they have good understanding, and it says that they are postured to receive the blessing. So there's a processing.
Okay.
Exactly.
That word stuck out to me. There's a processing issue. So I'm gonna choose the giver. Always gonna choose.
Okay. Now I have one more for y'all. Would you rather be a mute for the rest of your life and have to write everything down, or every time you talk, you have to preach? So the only time you can use your voice is to preach. Would you rather be a mute and have to write everything down, or be able to use your voice only to preach? Now, those are mutually exclusive. It can't be both.
You go ahead, Pastor.
All right. You talking to preachers tonight? Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking to the preachers. I'm talking to the pastors. I'm talking to the church folk.
Because when you say preach, you talking like Joel Osteen, or you doing it, because that's just talking.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter which way you're going with.
Okay, so let's put us in the excited African American experience. So every time you preach, every time you open your mouth, the only thing you can do is be going, hooping, in your high place. Ooh, or you got to write everything down. Can't talk, voice gone.
This feels so odd, but you don't call me an odd place. The thing that I would do forever for life is preach, but right through here, literally pandemic mode, the Lord has put fluid in the pen. The Lord has helped me to be able to write it. So I'm going to preach with my pen. I'm going to preach with my pen. I'm going to choose that one.
You're going to choose the pen. All right, Rob, what you doing, fam?
I would do the opposite. I would preach it, because if that's all I can do, and I know I'm saving souls, I'll do it. Even though I know I can do it with a pen.
Okay.
But if all I can do is preach or teach or do what I need to do to save a soul, and I know I'm doing what God called me to do, I'm with it. Even if it's just, hello, how you doing, with a holler? Look, gotta do what I gotta do.
Right. So this is all the time, in your romantic moments, in your, all you can do is preach in the bedroom. But I'm sure you'll figure out. Song of Solomon. You got Song of Solomon, fam.
They'll figure it out.
Y'all, this was so fun. This was so much fun. And I'm glad we got an opportunity to do this little game at the end. Now, before we go, I want you all to tell people where they can find you on social, how they can connect with you, and all of that good stuff. Am, where can the people find you, sis?
Awesome. Again, thank you, Alicia, for this opportunity. This has been so crazy good. I've enjoyed myself completely. Guys, you can connect with me on Facebook. Look me up, Amaris Ross-Hillard on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I am Pastor A. I'm also my ministry page, So Graceful with 2 L's Ministries with an S. You can find me on YouTube, Amaris Ross-Hillard, Amaris Ross-Hillard on YouTube, so you can find uploads of Grace on a Wednesday and other preaching moments. So there you have the preacher. And then on Wednesdays, you can connect with me live on Grace on a Wednesday. So as early as tomorrow on Facebook Live at 10:30 Central Time every Wednesday. And now on Wednesdays, you can connect with Grace on a Wednesday on the ChristianMix106.com. You can find it there as well 3 times a day. You can find it at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. on the ChristianMix106.com. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Make sure you all connect with Pastor Amc is amazing. All right, Rob, where can we find you?
Oh, if you need to get in contact with me, it's under my name, Robert Tanner III. Well, Robert D. Tanner III on Facebook, on Instagram, REBRDT3. You want to get connected with the church, Community Church of River Ridge. We're on YouTube, Facebook, website, under the leadership of my dad, like I said, Pastor Robert Tanner Jr. Alicia, this was great. If I do it again, I want to do it Pastor Ang. That's my tag team partner all day, every day. That's the world. We're good.
I so appreciate both of y'all being here. Pastor Robert is doing amazing things as well, so y'all please connect with him. Thank you so much for tuning into Churchy Chats with the Church Girl. I am looking for all of you all next week, right here, same place, same time. Join the conversation, share it with your friends, all of that good stuff. I appreciate you from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for continuously tuning in, and we will see you right here next week on Churchy Chats with the Church Girl. Y'all hang on. We're going to chat for a minute afterwards. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.